So let me ask you this. How do you know that you can trust someone? How do you trust someone? What is it that enables you to trust someone? Anybody?
History.
Okay, relationship, history. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to offer you this thought. Results, okay, results, they come through. Think about this. The way you can trust someone, the way you learn how to trust someone is by speaking truthfully yourself. In other words, the more you're habituated to the practice of integrity, truth-telling, on the smallest things, doesn't it stand to reason that it's going to be easier to recognize that in somebody else? So I'm going to leave you with 4 hints on how to do that, and we've covered them. Nothing about your word or deed is unimportant. Nothing is too small to matter. So we went through that, the white lies, the dinner, public TV, right? Public radio, your stock portfolio. I know what people say about those things. Well, the white lie doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt anybody. All of you had really great answers on this, but let me go through this. Taking some on somebody's expense account, well, it's a drop in the bucket. Buying something in the street bargain, most of you thought that was okay. But think about that. If you're seeing it on the street corner at a price like that, it was either stolen or counterfeit. Now, do you want to be considered an accomplice to the perpetuation of that kind of corruption? So maybe it does matter, right? Public TV, public radio. I asked this question. Nobody thought it was a breach of integrity not to pay. But do you think they can get by without those contributions? Unless they've been lying for 40 years about that. I believe them. They cannot get by without listener, viewer support. Now, yes, it's on the air, so the tendency is, well, it's already there. How can what I do matter? But it does. So that's number 1. Nothing you do, and this, of course, is so true in county government. There's nothing you do, no kind of engagement, no interaction. It's unimportant. Okay, number 2, the belief that you'll be ready for big things without practicing on the small things is an illusion. So we get into the pile of papers, the to-do list, those tedious meetings that go on forever. That's not inconsequential, because that's the way our democracy survives. Number 3 is to examine every belief that you have. Are you willing to go through life and say to yourself, what I believe might be wrong? The judgments I make about people could be also wrong? Every belief that you hold is subject to examination. A belief is something transient. It's not something permanent. You know, we have this image. I have this image, again, it's in the book. You'll see it. I'll tell you the page. Where there's a photo of someone skipping across rocks. Have you ever done that? Like, you know, when you're crossing a river, what happens when you stop and you try to stay on a rock? Well, often you fall in. The only way you can get to the other side is keep moving. That's the way I like to look at beliefs. Because a belief is just a point that is a staging area for evolving that belief, getting more refinement. And that holds true for everything. For climate change, we probably all have a belief about climate change, but how much about it do we really know? Do we know that, do we know for a fact that there are not an equal number of scientists that don't believe that humans participate in climate change? But there are, including Nobel Prize winners. But how do we know that? You have to penetrate that. Everything you believe has to be subject to merciless examination. The last point is, in all your beliefs, look for blame. How does it move from belief to blame? That's trajectory I said was not necessarily the case with everyone, but the common trajectory of belief, descending into blame. And I'm going to conclude by saying this. Don't feel bad if you breached. We made a joke of it about the white lie. We're all against it, but we've all done it. That's okay. You know, breaching integrity, no one has integrity. This is going to be the most controversial thing I said, and I saved it for last. You don't have integrity. You don't possess integrity. It's not something to be possessed. You don't just do it like a Nike commercial. What you do have is the opportunity in each individual decision affecting your word or your deed to act with integrity. Sometimes you're going to do it, and sometimes you're going to miss. Integrity is a mountain without a summit. Remember that. Remember that also in your duties as county officials. You can't be right all the time. And if we can accept that, our constituents will also accept it because they understand it from their own lives. So go forth and practice integrity.